Hello, life path number 6. I know it's not always easy going through transformation, transitioning, and making a decision to make it better. But you know, sometimes when you do the work and you do the forgiveness, well, it brings in the release that you need. So if you want to know how to do that, you want to feel better, come on in and I'll tell you all about it. Hello, beautiful Life Path 6, and welcome back to your reading for the week. Let's see what the energies have for you this week. We're just shuffling here to see what kind of cards are going to come in. My harmonizers. You harmonize unless you're harmonizing badly, so please don't do that. Harmonize for yourself, harmonize for others, and find the middle. All right, so we have the 9 of Acorns, power and perseverance. That's a 9 of Wands. That's, well, I mean, it's a 9. And then you have the Tangle, Justice card in reverse, truth and clarity. And, okay, the Unraveling, we have Transformation. That's a good one to have there. That's a Death card. That's a very good one to have there. That means you're taking this seriously. So in the end, we have the 4 of Feathers, Sanctuary and Rest, but it did come in reverse. So maybe we'll take a look at that to make sure that maybe that card coming in reverse is not something that you are ignoring, that maybe you should be doing. So let's take a look here what the Oracle has to say. And it is forgive. Oh, forgive. Okay, so who are we forgiving this week? We're going to take a look at the energy. I'm going to look at it for a minute. And we're going to look at what's coming in for you. Okay, so first we have the 9 of Acorns coming in, power and perseverance. So this is a hard card to begin with because it's a card of like discipline, but it's also the card of fatigue and being determined and you know, guarded and just trying so hard to get through the hard work and the frustrations. This card though usually indicates don't worry too much about it. I mean, worry about it, but don't worry too much about it because you're usually really near to a breakthrough when you hit the 9. Okay, 9 is like just before the 10. So some people give up right at this point when there's a light or a light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I meant to say. Okay, the Tangle here is the Justice card in reverse. What I feel here is that you're trying to balance things out in an interesting way. Justice is never my favorite card of balance because it's an eye for an eye. I never really, I mean, it works sometimes, but sometimes you can't compare apples with oranges, even though, you know, they probably weigh the same. They're very different things. So this Justice card is apples to apples all the time, an eye for an eye, okay, truth for a truth. So I think the Tangle is that you've got to flip Justice in this case because it literally flipped. You're not able to see the balance here. And for the Unraveling, it's transformation. So this is where it starts to unravel with this transformation card that comes in, the death, the transition. It unravels because you have to see the truth in this. You have to make things balance in a different sort of way. And when I'm seeing the 4 of Feathers at the end of this, it's feeling like the Sanctuary and Rest card, but it's in reverse. And I'm going to tell you something. It has to do with healing. It has to do with rest. This with the Forgiveness card as the Oracle, this is either something you have to forgive yourself or others in order for you to start healing. That makes a lot of sense because when we try to hold something on to balance in a way, forgiveness, you can't hold it up to justice. Okay, sometimes you have to forgive without actually getting any feedback from the people. You do forgiveness for yourself. I've been in the situation, and as a 6, this is going to be hard for you because you want to balance things out, right? You want checks and receipts to things. That's how you balance things out. This is why I'm seeing this Justice card. It's like going, I'm going to forgive you even though you're not going to say anything about it, right? They're not going to reciprocate You know, they're not going to admit to doing something wrong. You're just going to have to do it so that you can let it go and let it heal. You're going to need to transform this energy. And I know I'm being specific, but the forgiveness card really makes it kind of in that zone. Okay, so 6, you're going to have to let go of the wound. That's the important part of this reading. Whatever it is, forgiveness for someone or somebody else. And I'm going to actually read you the card of forgiveness out of this because I think it's important for you. Okay, usually I don't. I just read what I feel. But in this case, I'm going to read it for you. As I walked out the door towards the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. Nelson Mandela. That is so just right on point right now. If you have been at odds with someone, regardless of who is in the wrong, it may be time to call a truce. Stubborn pride often stands in the way of calling a ceasefire, but the truth is that holding on to bitterness and resentment is a recipe for causing great dis-ease within yourself. It's incredibly easy to hold on to a grudge, but it's necessary to let go for your own sake. When you forgive another, you allow that person to feel relief, but more importantly, a sincere act of forgiveness will allow you to release the shackles of bitterness and resentment from your own heart. Resentment will weigh you down. It will eat away at you slowly and surely until you find yourself in a cycle of negative, toxic thought patterns. When you truly forgive, you are lightening your own load and allowing yourself to be set free. So my light in this is release, let go, liberate, reconcile. The sacred words as I release all anger from my heart space and experience peace. This is so important. Raison d'être is your heart finds it difficult to flourish in the face of anger. When you let go and anger and resentment, you allow your heart to blossom. These are some important things to remember, okay? Needed to read that to you. You need to let that land. And when you do, you will find the freedom that you're looking for this week, or any week that you find this reading. I have other channels here. I have the original OG Pisces, Soul Awareness, that have longer messages. Fantastic if you're in the mood to listen to something that will open you up. Tarot Guide with AI with David, which is new and on the cutting edge of revelation. I'm telling you, go see it. And also a playlist with all of your number 6 available to you so that you can have access to it, whatever you want. Anything that, jumps out at you, you can watch. Take care of yourself, 6. I will see you next week.